everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't heard, I'm co-hosting the StrangeAthon and my team is Team Tricking Kids. So if you're interested, the StrangeAthon lasts from October 13th until the 31st. So the majority of October, which I'm very excited about. And so I'm going to give you what my TBR is. If you're wondering what the prompts are, I have my StrangeAthon announcement on my actual page. It should be the last video I posted. So let's go ahead and get started. If you need to know more about the StrangeAthon, you can go ahead and go back to my channel page and go to that video announcement. But if you don't want to do that, that's okay. The point of StrangeAthon is sort of like a trick-or-treating thing, and each team member goes to the different houses and they get treats for completing that house's prompts. And so for Team Tricking Kids, we have the Halloween icon where you pick a book that has either like a pumpkin or a witch or something on it. We have Tales from the Grave, Nostalgic Synth, Urban Legend, Apocalyptic Omen, and then our group book is The Raven Boys. So obviously the first book that I will be reading, because it is the group book that I picked out for us, is The Raven Boys, because we are Team Tricking Kids. So I wanted a book about either a group of someone or something about a squad, and The Raven Boys seemed like a really good book that a lot of people liked, so I figured we go ahead with that one. For the Halloween icon, I ended up picking a semi-definitive list of worst nightmares by Crystal Sutherland, and this book is about a girl named Esther Solar, and I guess it goes back to like the grandfather and then her parents and then her brother, I believe. They all have a fear. One of them has like an extreme phobia, one's like a germaphobe, but they all have some sort of phobia that sort of controls their life, and some of them can't leave the house because of it. Some of them are extremely mentally crippled by it. So she hasn't had hers, and then it kind of goes over like what her fear is, how she realizes it. I'm guessing, I haven't read it. But I know it is about worst nightmares and fears, and it's got, you know, a skeleton hanging out here. It's got a little cat. It has two decent Halloween icons on it. So I thought this would be a really cute book to read. I guess we'll see how scary it is. So I know this was on my TBR a few months ago for something, and I never actually got around to it. So I think that this would be a perfect time to actually read it. I also ended up downloading the Cloud Library app, which I didn't know about because I've been seeing so many things on BookTube about Libby. And then I had a friend who's in a different county say that they use like Overdrive or something for their library, and I ended up finding out what app they use for the ebooks and downloadable audiobooks for smartphones, which is the Cloud Library, and I found the audiobook for this. And I think most of the books on my TBR actually have an audiobook, and I am definitely one that goes, you know what, if it's on an audiobook, it'll get me out of a slump. I drive between 2 to 6 hours a day, depending on what I have planned for that day. So definitely having the audiobook as a backup if I'm struggling to get through it is definitely going to help me actually be successful in this TBR. And that was Tales from the Grave, which is the second prompt. The next book that I have for this readathon is from Nostalgic Synth, which you have to read a book from another decade, and I ended up picking Wonderland, and this is by Jennifer Cody Epstein. Is that how you pronounce it? And this is actually during two different time periods. So this is East Village 1989 and Berlin 1933. This definitely has, reading the description, very World War II, Nazi Germany vibes. So this is some sort of historical fiction, and I think this would be a really good book to read. The next book that I need to read for my TBR is Urban Legend, which you read a book that either is based on a myth or a legend. And so I ended up picking Circe, and this is by Madeline Miller, who is supposed to be a really awesome author for Greek mythology and other books that she writes. I know she wrote like Achilles' Song too, which was really good, and Circe was all the rave a few months ago from the videos I was watching on BookTube, and it just seemed like it was really well received. I read the first chapter. I kind of like the writing style. I'm all about anything Greek mythology. It's mine, you know. I love Greek mythology, so I thought that this would be a good book to commit to this month. So that is definitely on my TBR. It was last month, but I never got around to reading it except for the first chapter, so I think that I'll commit to finishing it this month. And then the last book on my TBR is The Apocalyptic Omen. And for that, I'm actually going to read Good Omens. I was a big fan of the Amazon Prime. I have Amazon Prime, but I was a big fan of the Amazon adaptation of the book. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I love a good end of the world situation, and I love anything that can tie in the tragedy or the fear into something that's comedic, so it kind of breaks up how terrified you are the whole time or how intense something is. So I really like the comedic twist, and a lot of people have said that it's also in the book, so I'm very interested to see how it is in the book, since I loved the movie so much. And it's actually not a movie, it's an episode. It's like a series, a show series. Let me start again. It's actually not a movie, it's a series of episodes, and there are 6 episodes in that one season, and I just really loved it, so I'm really excited to read the book too. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed that TBR. Let me know if there's any books on your TBR. Go ahead and link the video down below. Don't forget, on Discord and on Twitter, there's also a link to the TBR playlist so that you can add your TBR video and any other announcements you have to that playlist so that all of us can watch them, all the co-hosts and everyone else can go ahead and watch those TBR videos. Also, if you want more updates, are you interested in joining my channel, go ahead and hit subscribe down below, and I will see you in another video. Thanks, bye.